What's up, guys? It's Benny. There are some decades when absolutely nothing happens, and then there are days when decades happen. And we are inside of that hyperloop right now. America is at war with Iran. President Trump just announced that we have bombed Iran and unleashed a payload of bombs, his words, in order to destroy their nuclear capacity. Let's read. We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iranian airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There's not another military on Earth that could have completed this. Now is time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Remarkable, saying now is a time for peace. In the bombing post on Truth Social, President Trump followed up with a massive American flag. The president believed that Iran was, in fact, close to creating and enriching uranium to the point that they could create a nuclear weapon. And now, as President Trump has posted, Fordo is gone. This is their main nuclear site, and the site has been obliterated. Do you want to see what it looks like? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first imagery that we can see from inside of Iran. Look at that. I mean, you want to talk about scorched earth. You want to talk about true and total annihilation. That is apocalyptic. According to our sources, which had always been telling us that this was an option on the table, this is like the Soleimani strike. They want it to be harsh, brutal, and they want it to be done. That's what we've heard. However, what is remarkable about this is that there were no leaks. I mean, absolutely and totally lockdown mode. This took the entire world and globe by surprise. Everybody is in shock, I think, because many were believing that Donald Trump would give them weeks. He said recently that there would be 2 weeks before he decides what to do with Iran, but it was actually 2 days. And now, ladies and gentlemen, just seconds ago, President Trump announcing his bombing of Iran. U.S. bombs 3 nuclear sites, including the key Fordo bunker, as Trump hails a very successful attack. Why did America need to hit this bunker right here? This is what the Fordo enrichment facility looks like. Because this bunker, the enrichment facility is deep, deep inside of a mountain. It is, the centrifuges are built way in, like well within the actual walls of the mountain side. It's a massive security perimeter, tunnels, support buildings. This is something that required a very specific style of weapon that only America has. Called a bunker buster. Looks like this right here. And it was dropped by B-2 bombers and stealth bombers. Apparently, America, you can see here on this map, apparently America hit multiple nuclear sites, all 3 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, B-2 stealth bombers were used in America's strike on nuclear sites. They entered the region just hours ago. This is what the vehicle looks like right here. And it's freaking, from an American military perspective, freaking kick ass. It's awesome. From a Trump coalition and MAGA coalition perspective, that's a whole nother story. And we're going to get to that in just a second. The president said the B-2 stealth bombers were used, didn't specify which types of bombs were dropped. The decision to directly involve the U.S. comes after more than a week of strikes by Israel and move systematically to eradicate the country's air defenses and nuclear program. Trump calls it a very successful attack. The world is now a safer place, according to the head of the military there. And this is what the Fordo uranium enrichment facility looks like. You can see here, a sophisticated facility built deep, deep into the heart of a mountain. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think about it? I'll tell you, man, this is just wild times. There's a lot at stake here. President Donald Trump has announced that the U.S. military successfully completed their attacks on these nuclear sites. All right, let's get to some of the reactions here. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator John Fetterman, as I've long maintained, this is the correct move by the President of the United States. Iran is the world's leading sponsor of terrorism, cannot have nuclear capabilities. I'm grateful to salute the finest military in the world. Boom, boom, boom from Fox News. Matt Gaetz, who, of course, has very much in the Bannon and Tucker wing of the parties, saying, do not create a forever war here, saying, do not make this a forever war. Make this like the Soleimani strike, one and done. No regime change war. Trump, the peacemaker. Yeah, well, now you're on a slippery slope. We'll see. Cernovich saying, never Trumpers from 2016 are now in control of foreign policy. Yikes. A full payload of bombs was dropped, followed by a time for peace. Utterly deranged, says Candace. And then talking about how it's, Trump's donor base that's pushing him to do this. Mark Levin, obviously, with his special sock. Congratulations to our great commander-in-chief and our great military, a grateful nation. Thanks you. You'd have to assume that Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham are watching this together on the couch. Brett Baer just happened to be dressed in his studio when Trump announced that we were bombing Iran. Okay, whatever, dude. Like, nobody knew this was happening. Even if you knew this was happening, why didn't you post it? Bomb, 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 bomb Iran. If Kamala were president, she probably would have bombed America. Time to pray for peace, says Mike Lee. Many people following that sentiment. Good. This was the right call. The regime deserved it. Well done, Donald Trump. To my fellow citizens, we have the best Air Force in the world. It makes me so proud. Fight, fly, win, says Lindsey Graham. Trump just declared war on Iran and attacked Iran. This does not serve American interests in any way. It's a big win for establishment GOP and the Bush wing. Again, these are the takes. I'll give you my take here in just a second. The U.S. used B-2 stealth bombers to carry out the attacks on Iran's nuclear facility, according to Axios. Israel was notified in advance of the Trump administration's decision to proceed with these attacks on Iran. Okay, well, there you go. Pentagon reporter, in my 18 years at the Pentagon, I've never seen such an operational security. There were no leaks, nobody speaking about this, a complete and total blackout. Great job, Pete Hegseth. That's true. I mean, at the very least, that's what you would want. So here we go. The Fordo nuclear facility is totally and completely gone. No leaks this time. Look at the betting markets, right? Will the U.S. military action against Iran on Saturday? Should have bought this one, right? It was like down to zero, and then boom, 100% on Polymarket. Crazy. Thomas Massie declares President Trump's attack on the nuclear facility unconstitutional. This is not constitutional, says Thomas Massie. Again, very interesting. There's a very wide range of takes here. And you're going to have a number of people inside of the coalition. You're going to have another people inside of the MAGA coalition that are going to say, listen, this is not what I voted for, right? Nobody voted for American interventionism in the Mideast. It sounds like we use at least 5x the required ordnance on Fordo, still waiting battle damage assessment. But if everything hit where it's supposed to, Iran no longer has a nuclear weapons program. Okay, so here is my take on all of this. I worry about the coalition. Why am I not going to comment on? I'm not a foreign policy guy. You won't catch me like sitting here pontificating on foreign policy or like military ordinance like this. I didn't serve in the military. I don't pretend to be some type of genius, when it comes to foreign policy. I don't like forever wars. I think there has been a long and proven track record of horrors of America getting involved in forever wars, especially in the Mideast. I think that's awful. And I don't think that anybody voted for more war when everyone voted for Trump. However, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know more than the commander in chief, or that I know more than the Pentagon, or that I know more than the military experts, because I don't. All right, I don't. I know that I don't want Iran to have a nuclear bomb. Nobody's presented any evidence that it's a good thing for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't understand why it was so urgent to do this right now, but whatever. Again, I wasn't bred in on this kind of stuff. I don't have a security clearance. I worry the very most about keeping the coalition together. I worry the very most, much like with the Elon fight, with the Tucker fight earlier this week, with the Bannon fight, I worry about keeping the coalition that was a winning coalition together. That coalition included a bunch of people that wanted us to focus here on America first. And that's what I worry the very most about. That's what I want. I don't want that coalition to fracture, because that coalition is a winning coalition. The coalition of putting America first, making the world a safer place, is good. I love the Trump of walking into North Korea. That's my favorite Trump. My favorite Trump is walking into North Korea. That's the best Trump. The best Trump is the peacemaker Trump. And peacemaker Trump's been seen in the Ukraine war. He's been seen in the Pakistan-India potential conflict. And I want peacemaker Trump here, right? And maybe this is a sequence of events. There's so much going on behind the scenes that I don't know about. Maybe there's a sequence of events that made this the absolute like must make decision. I don't know because I was on the room. But I'm standing here today telling you that the thing that I worry the very most about is obviously the coalition. And so with that, it's like worth stating that President Trump took a bullet for this country. President Trump ran on no new wars. President Trump ran against the Bushes. Just a reminder, President Trump ran against Jeb and the entire Bush dynasty. He destroyed that dynasty, the Clinton dynasty, the Obama dynasty. These are dynasties of war. And Donald Trump knows better. Donald Trump has also been like incredibly consistent for 30 straight years that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. Everyone knows this. And there's nobody who can make that case. Iran is also the #1 state sponsor of terror. That's a matter of fact. Any GWOT veteran who's been maimed or blown up by a bomb, it was because of a bomb, or because of some type of munition made by Iran. That is a matter of fact. And so as long as this like ends in some type of peace deal, then fine. Then so be it. I wasn't read in. I'm the most concerned about the coalition. I'm the most concerned about now there being fractures, right, inside of the Trump base. And so that's where my focus is going to be. All right, because I want to win. Because we need to win. We need to keep the country together. We need to keep the world. We need to keep this country together. We need to keep this coalition strong. We cannot hand it over to the Marxists. I mean, the alternative is horrifying. So President Trump's going to be addressing the nation soon, and hopefully making the case for all of this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be live for that. All right, so we'll listen to the president explain everything here. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.